Most of the time, anime has a nice simple storyline for all viewers to watch and follow along. Most of the time, anime is filled with distinct characters with obvious motives for their actions. Most of the time, anime can get pretty generic. But most of the time, anime isn't Sonny Boy. From Studio Madhouse, creators of Death Note and Trigun, Sonny Boy tells a tale of a group of school students who gets randomly transported to an alternate world. In this suspicious new world, where reality seems to take a back seat, some students also mysteriously get powers of some kind. From reality bending to object creation and oh shit, I just described every generic isekai out there, didn't I? Okay, bear with me, cause it is the furthest thing from a typical trashy isekai. No reincarnated vending machines in this one. So, a group of students get transported into a world where some of them are gifted powers. They have no idea what's going on, you have no idea what's going on, and as the show progresses, we discover more and more things about the laws that govern this strange new world. The characters try to find out how, or even why they were transported here in the first place. All this while grappling with the new social dynamics these strange powers provide. Think about it. If you've always been the Madonna, the queen bee of the school, after your class gets isekai'd and gifted randomly selected cheat abilities, you're gonna be pretty pissed if the class nerd becomes a bona fide Naruto character, while you're delegated to LK water dispenser. Each episode is lovingly crafted into little story arcs as the characters find out more and more about the world. It starts grappling with this everyone is stranded on a deserted island scenario, and rapidly spirals off from there. Students splinter off into factions, rallying under different ideals to cope and survive in these new circumstances. When these factions clash, the show provides meta-commentary on the effects of social isolation, talent versus passion, and so many other issues, all portrayed in the context of this is just Lord of the Flies but anime, innit? So, what's so difficult to understand about this anime? Well, everything else. Right from the start, the show pops off. Multiple plot lines start running throughout episodes. Something as simple as a cutaway shot could provide context for a mystery 6 episodes down the line. Each character acts with their own motives and reasons, but it's almost never obvious why. Some things are just simply never explained. We only see the actions and results, and have to piece together the reasons behind a character's behavior. Now this might just sound like bad storytelling, but it really does give the effect of this strange world having its own life, and the main cast are just along for the ride. Every character you meet in this vast new world has their own reasons for their actions. To us, the main cast is the main cast, but to everyone else in the show, they're not special. Just one out of the millions. One of the more standout episodes was right at the start that made me realize that this show was something special. It starts with one of the characters, Mizuho, being seen watching a mysterious blue fire burn down a tree. You see, since being stuck on an island, the only reason why the class hasn't gone all crazy and tried to eat each other is because of Mizuho's power. She has the ability to have anything she wants, including food and water, mysteriously delivered to her. Yup, even in an isekai you can't escape the claws of Jeff Bezos. But recently, the stuff she's given to the rest of the students have begun spontaneously erupting into blue fire. As you can imagine, that's pretty inconvenient, and when stranded on a deserted island, no one's happy when their Super Mario Tanuki suit starts to burst into flames. It doesn't help that Mizuho is standoffish and prickly, preferring to hide away in her billionaire-approved gated mansion and doing the bare minimum for a class she never really liked anyway. Remember the scene of her watching the tree burn in blue flame? Rumors of the origin of the fire begin to spread, with many believing it to be a product of malicious intent. That information gets passed through word of mouth and warped into something way more malicious. A few of the other characters use evidence and reasoning to find out that no, the blue flame isn't produced from Mizuho as an act of revenge, it's just a rule of the world they live in. No one can take something from another. If you receive it as a gift, sure, but not taken out of duty or obligation like Mizuho is to the rest of the students. But hey, the witch hunt is on. I'm going to ignore evidence if it doesn't reaffirm my beliefs. She gets scorned by others, pressured into apologizing for crimes she didn't commit, and the situation even devolves into violence. All fun and games until you realize that's pretty much the modern day internet. Suddenly you go from, thank god this is just a show, to, ah shit, there are people like this in real life, aren't there? And they're all on Twitter. This is the kind of commentary Sonny Boy provides, of just one plot of one episode. There's so much more, so many other societal issues it picks on, and this is not even getting into its actual plot. We haven't even gotten to stuff like the effects of late-stage capitalism, blind obedience, and so much more that there's no way for it to all fit in one video. After watching enough anime, you get into the habit of classifying them into certain categories. Generic harem isekai? Laugh at it and then make fun of their fans on the internet. Something a little more nuanced? Argue about semantics online and justify that yes, this scene was absolutely necessary in explaining the plot. This show, when the credits rolled at the end of every episode, I was left with no idea of just what I was feeling, only that I did feel. It's the kind of show that you go, that might have changed my life. How? I don't know. If I wanted to, I could try to make a 12-part series on each episode's themes and compositions, character breakdowns and analysis. But the real fun of this show comes from watching it yourself. You should be the one dissecting every character's motive, getting excited over every detail you find and going down every little plot rabbit hole. Then going online and trawling through the discussions to see what you got right and wrong, and what some people still never figured out to this day. That feeling of when you just finish an episode, when you're just bursting for an explanation on what in the world you've just seen, is fantastic. Because whatever you take away from Sonny Boy, be it a critique on social issues, or just an excuse to listen to an insane amount of insert songs, you have to admit, this was one of the most captivating shows you've ever watched, even when you didn't understand half of it.